Welcome, welcome, welcome. How's it going? I'm here with another video, and if you are new, I would really appreciate if you subscribed, and I would appreciate every single one of you guys like the video as it allows others to see it. Over the last day or two, I've been questioned multiple times. Are we going to $35? Are we doing this? Why are we dropping? Why is this happening? Why is that happening? It's just a lot of questions, and I discovered a lot of people, they will ask questions, but they will not go back and watch videos. Even though if it's going to take me 3 times longer to explain to me in text the answer than going back and watching the audio. So I want to clear a couple things up, and I also will refer you guys out to videos to watch. This will answer a lot of questions for you guys, and also will understand where also some of the information is coming from and how things move. So here it is. A lot of us were suspecting a Bitcoin coming down, but in return, market makers said, "Nope, we want to take you guys to 50,000." Now we're knocking on the door of the 50,000 on Bitcoin. So I want to actually lay it out. As you guys can see, the red line, we started here. We thought this actually is our M. So hopefully we're coming down. Turned out to be, this is, we started, we prepped for a movement. There's, you guys can see the W right here. And we shot up, which of course, we had a little bounce here. And that is normal. You guys do have to understand, not everybody jumps into the coin and holds the coin. In addition to that, market makers are need to also take a breather. They cannot just go, go, go. So, they've been pushing, as you guys can see, a lot of red and green candles in here, or green candles in this case scenario. Look at that. They were pulling us down with the red and pink candle. Then they started pushing us up, and that's on the 1 hour chart. And every time they helped us. Now, it comes to a certain point because you guys have to understand market makers are sitting like hawks watching every single move on a 1 minute or even a second chart. They're controlling. If you guys watch the last 2 minutes of every single candle on a 15-minute and a 1 hour chart, a 30-minute chart, the last 2 minutes are very crucial. How they actually watch and control that candle to make sure that candle closes exactly in the form they want it to close. So we got a shot up, a little cool down, but then I probably should have done up, down, then up, but oh, that's okay. So right now we're here, and a lot of you guys are. So what's happening next? We're coming down. No, we're just bouncing to the next level. Here's actually what my expectations is. And of course, maybe I got the angles wrong. Maybe it's not going to happen as far out. It'll be more compressed. But we came up, we came down. Right now, we are coming up. We had to come down and meet our 50 EMA. So as you guys can see, The candle shot as much as it could down, as down as it could, and as we continue up, you guys will notice how closely that actually was. So, do we gonna come down one more time and try to shoot it one more time in about 2-3 hours? Maybe, but eventually that will end, and we will take a next trip up. The trip up will be somewhere in the area of 50,800 area, or somewhere in that area. As we take as we bounce back from that area, we will come back, which will be slightly higher. As you guys can see, we have not crossed below the last high. So we will come back and retest our last high, which is also going to be daily open and also daily high. So we will retest area of a 49.4, which honestly I just don't understand. We should be rebounding from 50, but I might be wrong here on something. And then we go to take our, this is our level up, one level up, because this one right here, I don't know, I believe it doesn't count. So that's our level up one, level up two, and that's going to be our level up three. As we come up to this area right here and we level up to this spot, at that point we will come down. When we come down, we will turn this into an M. And when we turn this into an M, we all know what M possibly might do. At that point, we have two outcomes. Either we continue down or bounce up and then continue down, creating the shoulder and work our way down. Or I personally believe when we get above 50,000, I believe this is going to be roughly about like this. And then when we get to 50,000, we'll take another rebound and take another flight to the next level. That's personally what I believe. Now, whatever you guys see in the Bitcoin, something similar to that will happen with other coins as well. So let's look at XRP. And I'm going to delete this because I need more of those zigzags. So we started somewhere from right here. Actually, no. We're gonna start all the way from here. So we had this bounce here as we were going up, but we finally made it to the top. I am not gonna, draw out the picture here, but here's actually, we had our small stop here that bounced. Then we came up to this first actual uh, bounce back. As you guys can see, we have crossed the 50 EMA. Then we recovered, which we have, and actually price is right here. So I usually would recommend trying to purchase right at 50 EMA or anywhere lower than 50 EMA. But right now would be a perfect time for entry. So then we would probably come up to here, so somewhere or so, bounce back. So level on, level two, even though this one doesn't consider it to be a level because it never broke out outside. So we'll do something like this. And of course, the height can be because on this one I do not have I have not looked up to the left. What are their possibilities? So then we'll do something like this. Or there could be a possibility that we continue down and then, reverse down. So those are the two possibilities here as well. So that's possible, the outcome on XRP. The height has not been adjusted to the left side. We can try to adjust them. So that would be something like this. Then this would be something like this. So that means this one would be rebalancing here. Then we will be turning this into an M. And again, this one right here is a prediction because I am working on the fly. But here's something how that would actually play out if we don't start coming down. So that's the XRP predictions right there. As I showed on Bitcoin, let's zoom out. Then we came out, broke our high. Right now we came down, didn't broke our last high. Right now we're in this area as we are trying to work. There might be one or two more times we might come down somewhere in this area to confirm, but eventually we will come up to the next high, bounce back again, not breaking the new last high, coming up again, and then turning this into an M, and either start working our way down or rebounds and continue up. And the same thing, as you guys can see, is with the XRP, and I just roughly estimated our peaks for every single time and our bounce back for every single time. So every single time we bounce back, keep in mind we will try not breaking our high. If last high, if we do, that means we might be coming down lower. And then the question is, do we truly come up? Because even if you guys look at this M, this piece right here will never break the last high as well again. So we'll come up, we'll come down, not breaking a high, as if we're trying to come back up, and we might actually continue there as well, like we did here, or we might come back and kind of bounce back somewhere in the middle, as we had on XRP. See, we came up, bounced back, and then will take off. So, kind of the pattern always repeats itself, and we could actually go in the history and kind of watch as it is, and I would actually recommend you guys to do so. So, one other coin that I did add to the list is 1inch. I used to trade this coin, and This coin is fantastic. I for some reason forgot about it and never added it to this list. So now we do have it. As you guys can see, this coin has been constantly going up. It has not touched 200 EMA since we first recovered, and then the second time here we recovered, and then we touched slightly right there. So as you guys can see, this coin is nice to get in. Next time it bounces, as long as it's not a heavy reversal, to get on it and just continue. But right now, it is just too far away from 200 to try to get in it. So usually it's happens when we either pull back or when we start trading sideways that you will get close enough to touch it again. So that's another coin. I know a lot of people uh, in the beginning of the year made a lot of money on that coin. So uh, what else? Uh, Alice actually did quite well today, and I had honestly, I had, I actually purchased her, but when she started, when we had that first bounce right here, I sold everything, including her, because I had like at that time like 24, 25 coins. Can you guys hold on a minute? There's an alarm on the phone, and nobody won't bother to turn it off. So did very nice, and look at that. How far it's going to go, I cannot say. It's kind of hard, but here, as you guys can see, we had first pullback. I think maybe I sold it in this pullback. Then we had a second pullback. Right now, we had a third pullback. And as you guys can see, every single pullback never went past the last pullback. Even at this one here, this pullback right here never went past this area. So some of you that are actually having questions, but why are we dropping? No, we're having just a pullback. It's just how it works. The when we have this kind of big run, usually you'll never get enough of a pullback to 50 until it slows down, but you will have a pullback to 13 EMA. So as you guys can see, pullback to 30 EMA, took another run. Usually when a run goes so far outside of the 5 EMA, then pullback usually happens to the 5 EMA, and sometimes even a slowdown happens for the candles to catch up back with 5 EMA. Look at that. Pull deck came back to 5 EMA. Went up, pulled back, touched the 5 EMA. Went up. Here we kind of pulled out too far out. So it came down, but didn't touch 5 EMA. So neither did the candle went back up. We pulled back, and then here it actually went up, came back, and forced this candle not just start at 5 EMA, but actually pull back further. Went up because here we pulled out too far out for 5 EMA. As you guys can see, it forced a pullback, which then that pullback said, okay, we need to right now not just to reestablish ourselves with 5 EMA, but we also need to reestablish ourselves on 13 EMA, and that's on a 1 hour chart. So it came close, barely touched it, went up again, and went up again. And like, wait a minute, we need to stay constant with the 5 EMA. So right now, we did a pullback. Uh, Now, with this pullback right here, I doubt, because this all considered still as a one part of a bounce, because as you guys can see, it did create a new high, but it's kind of staying at this high. So what it actually might be doing, might be actually slowing down right now, waiting for 13 to catch up, and might be actually waiting for 50 EMA at least to come up halfway, at least to this height right there before it takes off again. So there's that slowdown on the Alice for the next couple hours, I believe at least. SNX nicely came up, as we can see it again. Came back, came up, pulled back to 13. Uh, Actually waited to touch the cloud, pulled up again. As you guys can see, the break, even though we do have tails of the candles coming lower, but we are still respecting the thickness of the candles right there. So we came back, touched, almost touched the 50 EMA, and then look at that. We came back barely touching 30 EMA as it was traveling. Developed the speed. As the speed developed, we pulled away from 5 EMA. Keep that in mind. We will have to have a pullback. We will have to, or retrace, some people call it. We have to do that because we need to get pulled back to 13 EMA at that point and kind of, like do a check. And, like here's an example. You have a dog race, let's say in Alaska, dog sled race. But the riders are required to check in at every post. Otherwise, they automatically disqualify themselves from that particular race. So same thing we're having here. The further you pull out, now then you're required to check in to the 5 EMA, and the further you pull away from the 5 EMA, you also get to a point where you eventually will have to check in to the 13 EMA. So go back and watch some of these coins as they are going up. Look at that. Started pulling away from a 5 EMA. Pulled it back and also pulled it back to 5 EMA. Look at the past again. As it was coming back and it started pulling away, it pulled it back to the 13 EMA. As it started pulling away too far from 5 EMA, it pulled back to the 5 EMA and also pulled back to 13 EMA. And that point actually said, okay, we need to also check in with 50 EMA. So then we got to pull to the 50 EMA. Then we got to the third run. So look at that run. We have this. We have this. First target. Bounce back. Watch how we bounce back right there. Went up. Bounce back. But here we had it to check in, so we had it to pull a little bit lower. Third level. Level 1, level 2, level 3. Level 3, we pulled up. And then that point, we came in and turned this into an M. So as you guys can see, an M right there. As we turn this into an M, we try pulling one more time, trying to turn this into an W to confirm that we're not going to the to level 4. As you guys can see, M4. So level 4 never made it. So at that point, we came down, created a W. So as we came down, level 1, level 2. So we came down to level 2, created a W, and right now we're working our way up. These right here, I don't believe they're considered to be level 1. So honestly, this is the first level 1. That means SNX will come back and actually might be not a bad spot to get in. Actually, I would put in a limit order right here, and hopefully it come back slow enough so it will pick up the order, and then level 2, and then level 3. So great opportunity right here to actually get in and take those rides. Matic, another nice performer. Same situation here. We actually, um, as you guys can see, leveled 1, came down, level 2, level 3. We build our M, came down, build our first W, tried it, failed, can build our second level. As you guys can see, it broke 50 MA going up, but then it failed. 50 MA was strong, couldn't allow them. So it came down, finally broke it. And here's a beauty part. This is the part when I was watching Trader's Reality. He would always say, "Oh, we have to come down." And I always thought, "Wait a minute, but how do you come down when a 50 EMA is always coming up and actually meeting you?" So for me, it was kind of, "What are you talking about?" But when I watched last couple of videos, it finally made sense. We're not coming down far enough. We're just coming down a little while 50 EMA is coming up, and we're meeting each other. As you see, we created a W to get back over because we crossed 30 with a 5 EMA, the 50 EMA. So at that point, we needed enough energy to get over back up, and then we went for another run. As we were running, we had again cool off period once, second time, third time, fourth time. At the fourth time, we actually broke down again. So, interested here in the last couple days. We made first W, failed. We made second W, broke two, and watch here very closely. A lot of time you guys say, "Oh, but it never came back. Never touched the 50 EMA." Look at that. And this is something you guys need to uh, pay attention to. Broke over 50 EMA. When it broke 50 EMA, right now you got your first mark checked off. So here's actually three things that are supposed to happen for you to actually consider this into a trade. It broke 50 EMA. When it broke 50 EMA, now you're looking for expansion between 5 and 13, which right now, as it broke, the expansion started. So, one, complete. Two, complete. Now you're looking for retracement. Look at that. We broke. As we broke, we kind of came down. We came up. Now we came down and we retraced. So when we retraced and we closed under 50 EMA, you're looking for an entry. But entry usually are not safe to get in until 5 and 13 crosses 50. But that means I have to get in here. No, if you believe this thing is continuing up, and as you can see, it's continuing this 513. What you can do, you can try to get in as low as possible under 50 with a stop loss just right below the cloud. So in this situation, if you were to get in somewhere right here, where is it measuring? And you had a stop loss somewhere right here, you would be risking only about 0.8%, less than 1% of the money to get yourself in a sweet spot. Now, when you got into the sweet spot, you take that ride. Check out the ride. We bounces back one more time. This time we don't touch it. That's for a second confirmation. So we come down. By now, you can see EMA 5, EMA 13, they both cross to the top. Confirm that you have a good entry. This candle showed you that we are in a good entry. So right now everything is in your favor. So we broke through. That's check number one. Expansion, check number two. Return, check number three. Now, to get in, you need to have 5 and 13 cross 50 EMA, which at this point, they're showing you evidence as we came down here that we are on our way to cross through 50 EMA. So instead of waiting and getting in somewhere right here, or hopefully this candle comes back and get in here, you take a risk of getting in here. Now, check this out. Let's say instead of getting in at the bottom of the tail, you decided to get in at 50 EMA. That candle right there gave you almost 4% run. Yes, I understand. Then we retraced to 1 and 4%. But then check it out. We had run number one, run number two, run number three. 11.5% run. See, at this time when we pulled away and we pulled away so far away from uh, 5 EMA, what I actually would do, see, first of all, when we pulled right here, that far away from EMA, I would actually at this point jump off because we are double the width right here from the width right here. So at that point, I'll say, you know what? I'm going to jump out. You jump off. As we came down, you got in again, and we're riding. Here we're riding. And I'm still, I'm still developing the system because end of the day, there is some uniqueness to the system. So you're riding, and you're right here. We're not doubled yet the width, but at least doesn't look like. So we're continuing to ride. Now here is becoming too wide. Probably maybe even down here I would jump off, get back in as we get under the 5 EMA, ride it again. And here you would say, you know what? It's starting to become too wide. You jump off again. Now, that 12% run from the bottom, you added yourself by going off, jumping off, getting on, jumping off, getting on. You added yourself and another probably 3% more to all this. Now let's see where we at as we move to the left. See, as we move to the left, you probably jumped off here and you're like, okay, I'm gonna get back in because we're crossing image. We probably got in here, and you run through the scare, but we're only going back to touch 13 and work with the 13 EMA. So you continue into the trade because 5 and 13 are not crossing each other. So you do not have an indication you need to get out. So we're coming up. And remember, you got in somewhere right here. And then you took another ride. Again, we got too far from 5 EMA. You get out. And that's where you do couple sculptures through the day. Couple times you get in, get out. On his system, you just take a ride until you those two crosses. I'm actually saying, why don't you take it and enjoy multiple entries and exits? Because all the time we will be rebounding or bouncing, and as we bounce, you can actually increase your possible profit. So you get out again, you wait until you get in, as we are going sideways. We are not crossing the 5 and 13. And then look at that. You take another ride. You ride it. It's becoming too far. As it's becoming too far, you're like, you know what? I need to jump off again. So you jump off. You get back in, you take that ride again. You're like, it's starting to become uncomfortable too far. So you're trying to squeeze out as much as you can. You get out, you got yourself back in. But now, what happening next? On Matic, because we're gonna be working with so till this, all of this considered as a same level. My understanding that is correct. So honestly, Matic just leveled up first time, which means Matic will have opportunity. Hopefully, the 5 and 13 were not cross, but even if it do, you will have to get out, let it come down, and the 13 and 15 and and the candle get close enough, or maybe even bounce from it, and then you're going to have another runoff. So I believe in probably Matic will need 12 hours or so to for the 50 to meet up, and then we're probably going to level up to 2, repeat the process, level up to 3. So those are the things that I see with Matic. CHZ came up right now, have not broken and just come up toward the last high, as we just see this beautiful, some people call it cup and handle. Um, Again, we will see some kind of a breakdown or breakthrough and continue, and that's whenever it stops again, and that's going to be our level 1, and then we're going to level 2, level 3, and etc. So this kind of indicator, I love it, because you see this indicator, usually see you get this huge spike. So never ignore when you start seeing this. Um, Algorand, Algorand been running, bouncing back as and we can use that same system that I talked about. Look at it. Broke, went up, failed, came back, and let's say you waited for as low as possibly can, and you got in somewhere right here. Just that's me. Let me zoom in better. So broke the 50 MA. You're like, okay, we have expansion. So 1 is done, 2 is done. You're like, okay, I'm gonna right now wait for retraction. So we went up, came down, we broke through 50. Right now, we're looking for for an entry. You want to get in a most sweetest spot. Continue down, continued further down. It started recovering. Like, you know what? I'll get in here. It's a sweet spot for me to get in. Check out how much lower you got in from the trigger area. We're told you're good to get in, but now look for that sweet spot. So you get in, you got you seen the confirmation that we're going up. You got the expansion. It retraced. Let's say you got in, and now you're actually on the fly. So it came back second time for for retracement. Those that missed the first time on Algorand, this was sweet. Um, they actually gave you double opportunity to get back in when you, and then you, because you got in here, you're in positive. You're like, hey, I don't care. It can come back as much as possible. As long as it doesn't get below me, I'm fine. At this point, put in a stop loss somewhere right here below this candle, just in case this was a fake out and you bounce and you come down further down, then you have that protection right there, and then you start traveling up. So how did we do on this travel? By the way, we had here the W telling us we will be coming up. So we had our first run too far away from the 13 from the 5 EMA. Again, it's your guys' choice. You guys want to get out or not, but if you guys do, you guys get out, re-enter back in. You travel up, touch the 13 EMA, drew up again, got out, got in, went sideways, went up again, got out, re-entered again, got out, missed this run, but then you got back in. Because you got in, you went sideways, with little losses here, but remember you how much money you made, so a little being in negative on a side run, it's okay. We touched the cloud of 50 EMA, which that means we checked in. Sometime we'll hit or even break through 50 EMA. Sometimes we'll just touch the cloud. And as you got in, we took another flight. Some of you down here will say, you know what, but our 30 and 50 just crossed right there. But if you would have gotten out of right here, you would have lost this opportunity to run. So that's where, since we are taking more runs, because every time we get in, we increase our chance of profit between here and here, use that cushion right here to allow yourself to go down a little. Increase your stop loss area in the questionable areas. So as we came down, you allowed yourself to have some room, and check it out. You took advantage of another level up. You went up. You see, okay, I am a little too far from the 5 EMA. I'll bail out. You bailed out. You got back. You got back in, and you're on right now another ride. Pulled away too far. You got out. Got back in. See, in these areas right here, when you get out of here, you do not have to wait for the candle to come down and hit you. Just put in a limit buy order. So limit buy order in, and you're ready on another flight. Even though if this thing comes down, try to touch it. Even though we touched it here, so honestly, doesn't need to wait. All it is need to do whatever it needs to do to level up to the next height. So let's right now look at level ups here. How we're doing on level ups. So this considered to be still same. So we reached our level 1, level 2, level 3. So on Algorand, we are already at 3rd level. Will we level up to 2 more times? If you look at it, we had a W right here, which allowed us to level up. So I personally believe that the Algorand will have one more level up somewhere in this region right here. And at that point, it's probably going to build up the M and try to come down and then get retraced and pushed further up possibly. So that is the reality, and I can go on and go on and go on. And guys, tell you honestly, right now I see why Traders Reality talking about. Oh, the more streams I do with you guys, the more I learn the charts. So honestly, as I went through these couple coins, and I looked at, because I don't have time to go through all these coins on my own, and we just back traced a couple days. Those are hours, no days. As we back traced just couple days and looked at the history, I just learned so much. Now I am planning to go through uh, go back trace all the way back to March, February, and no, since the last dip, and actually look at retracement. Otherwise, that's a lot of data to go through. But it would be a good thing to actually go back and study the traders reality system going from January, and some of these coins, and kind of seeing the uptrend and the downtrend, because right now we're working on a wave of second uptrend since January. So it'd be nice to look at those coins. But yeah, you guys are seeing our possible growth continues, and I'm seeing more growth happening today, and possibly more growth happening tomorrow. But you gotta have to keep in mind, bounce backs are normal. Otherwise, um, we would just have a straight line to the moon, and then a couple people at the moon decided to cash out, and we would have a straight line to the bottom, and everybody else would be left without any money. So by having market makers and filling up area with limit orders, that allows us to go up, and then when a couple people decide to sell it, it drops, but doesn't drop to the bottom because market makers added more orders below that limit orders, which allows us to actually take advantage of those orders and cash out without seeing ourselves completely at the bottom. So that is just how all this works. Another coin, Yanfi, traveled up. Right now it's bouncing back. Might come down as low as 1347. As they both meet, they'll run off. So OGN, pretty much all of these coins have somewhat a similar story. So blessings to all of you guys. Definitely look back at this video. This video has a lot of information, a lot of new information. And most of all, for those of you that are panicking every time we get a retracement, you can actually start understanding why are we having retracement. That's number one. Number two, will force you to think about, were you having a good entry price? See, a lot of times we get in randomly anywhere on the board, as long as it's going up. We don't care about, was this a good entry point, or maybe I got myself too high and right now I'm gonna have a huge blood pressure when this thing starts retracing, because I'm gonna be feeling like I got in at the top. So to prevent that from happening, look at this. We crossed and closed above 50 MA. It took a ride. Then it came back. It never actually broke below 50 MA for you to took an entry. So here you kind of had no choice but to chase or just let this trade leave behind without you. So either you chased or you just let it go. A lot of people would chase this trade right here. Some people actually would even get in here. But what I would actually do is I would actually wait and try to get myself in here, which would be about the same because on this particular trade as getting in here. Then take advantage of my first ride, get out, get in, take advantage of my second ride, we pull too far, get out, put an order in. Now I created enough of extra cushion for myself on these extra runs from where I got out and where I got back in. So now I can allow myself for the candles to go below 13 EMA towards 50 EMA. I ride it again here, maybe got out, maybe it's felt, it's not far enough. Came back, took another ride. As we took another ride, definitely here said, it's too high for me. I need to get out. You got out, came back. Now you're like, I have enough of cushion, even if it has to go back and touch the 50 EMA. Look at that. The candle came back, almost touched the 50 EMA, but now I got myself out enough cushion right here that I allowed myself to go that far. If I would have known we're coming down to touch the 50 EMA, I would have maybe got in at 50 EMA, but I did not know. So how was I supposed to know to touch it at 50 EMA? To get in here at the bottom. So I got out as soon as we touched the 5 EMA. So I got back in. So now I'm in. I set this out. Right now we're back out. We're here. Um, maybe got out here, not depends. How it felt. Was it too far or not? Probably not. And then I'm kind of trading here, even though we have touched. But looks like we're going sideways for a while. As we're going sideways for a while, we're allowing 50 EMA to come to us. When that happens, we will take another ride. So now, if you look to the top, we had one level up, two level up, three level up, but none of them have broke the left side. So do we truly actually having a level up? Remember, in order for us to be in an upward trend on overall, and to identify an upward trend, we're gonna go down to weekly. And as we see it coming up, in order for us to continue going up, and maybe let's go to daily. In order for us to continue going up and having that up trend, we need to have on 1 hour chart. We need to level up higher than the last high. Otherwise, we're not going to have that uptrend. And if we only level up to the last high and then we come down again, that means we're going sideways. If we don't even break up like right now and we start a downtrend, that means we're going to reverse our trend and start going down, because that means every time we level up, we'll reverse before the last high, which means we will be reversing the trend down. So that is something you want to see. If we are reversing without touching up, you want to ask yourself a question. Is it possible we are reversing trend and right now churning into a bearish run? Because right now we're in bullish, which means we should level up and go higher than the last high. So keep that in mind. Now, I want to actually go and talk about I have here a lot of channels Most of them I don't even watch. Watch like once or twice. Right there's TR, but I'm looking for Traders Reality. Right there. No. Come on. This is not a complete list? Okay, let's look at. Oh, I'm in a different account. Okay, that's why. Traders Reality right there. So we're gonna go to Traders Reality. Let me subscribe on this channel as well. So we're gonna come. This, so we're gonna come to the Traders Reality, and what I recommend clicking on videos and watching the last 3 days of the videos. So, uh, if you're watching today, before he releases any new videos, that's August 21st, watch the last 3 videos. Start with the videos saying Bitcoin is not crashing, but start from the last and work your way backwards. In those 6 videos, he will explain majority of the system, what you guys actually seeing right now on the video, and you guys will start understanding. Of course, you guys already noticed I modified a little bit the entry points compared to where he says the entry points are. I also modified slightly differently um, when the candle closes above, you start looking for retracement. Um, so their retracement slightly, they're looking for a little bit different type of retracement than I do because I'm trying to look at how we can maximize our output instead of being, oh, I'll I'll try to be extra careful. See, I'm trying to maximize our output and use that uh, that extra output that we actually got, and to use that to allow us say self stay in the trade a little bit longer when it reverses against us. As we do know, we are working in an uptrend. Now, the question is, if you one of those and you say, you know what, I want to be one of those that I buy and I hold for a while. So for your to get yourself to a point where you can actually hold, you need to make enough of a earn enough of a cushion where you can say, you know what, right now I can actually hold. So to do that, let's say example, you did that on this run right here, right? As we came down, you got out, maybe even took a reversal, turn around, made some money. You took again, made some money here. And then when we came down here and you got in, you said, you know what? This time I kind of, made some money. I can actually go in, and as long as the market keeps going bull, keeps going up, I can actually get in and just hold. Because right now you made that cushion of it can actually reversing going against you. So right now you actually have that room allowing it to go. So you get in, it came out, it came down to where you got in. So you're like, hey, I'm fine. Even broke a little bit lower, which, started tipping into that cushion that you created yourself. Then bounce back. We are working on our new level up. It's probably going to level up out here. Probably might break down up to here. And you're like, but I'm ahead. I'm good. See, that's where all the game is. Some people say, but I want to start and be an investor. And my simple question: if you can afford it to be to start and be and behave as an investor, where you buy and you add every single week or a month to your portfolio, go for it. But a lot of people want to do this full time. They want to quit their job, or they already quit their job. They don't have a job, and for them to actually be an investor might not be reality because they only have a couple $1,000. So in that case, What you want to do is you want to start add some cushion and then start writing with half of your portfolio. The other half of your portfolio, use it to to make money and pay your bills. Now you're halfway investor or semi-investor, semi swing trader, and halfway day trader. So you're day trading, so right now you have a job that actually can put food on your table. Again, with this system, not always can you actually make money. There'll be months where you'll be able to double your money, but there will be actually months where you actually will be uh, not will be making enough to actually you'll break even, but not enough to put food on the table. So that's when you might actually have to tap in to your alternative sources of income, whatever that might be, to get a little extra. My situation, I'm actually thinking of starting door dashing. I uh, went through all the setup process, got approved and everything else a couple of months ago, just in case a situation in my life comes to a point where I need to tap in into that alternative form of income. You're not going to make a lot on DoorDash, but it might be enough. Probably I'm looking after gas and etc. You probably be able to, if you work 12 hours, which days you probably be able to pull in about a grand, and that's probably what I'm going to do for now. So as I dash, I'll have some breaks in between. I'll be able to do some videos. Unfortunately, I'm not sure if I'll be able to upload them because that last video that I did with the birds in the sky, it was uploading for about 6 hours before it hit the web. So you guys can see, not always you can get those videos uploaded quick enough. They will upload as quick. So based on that, I also will be, I'm sure, converting myself to a tablet, which will allow me to check on the price. As you guys have seen, um, system that I'm talking about, I'm using 1 hour chart, which means uh, all I have to do is check on every hour, on top of the hour, um, the position of the candle, where it's at. Get myself in. As I get myself in, watch for those big bursts. Get out at the top of that burst. Put in a. So those are the only time that I would have to watch if I want to max out my money is to watch the burst. When I'm done with when I get out, I put immediately limit order back in at a rough estimated area where I believe 13 EMA going to be at that point, at 5 EMA to be at that point. 30 minutes later, or uh, halfway up to the top of the next hour, check in to see do I need to readjust my order. And on top of the hour, every a half hour in, you check until that you got back in by readjusting your 5 EMA. And this way, you're not having a full-time job sitting in front of the computer, but you are semi day trading, semi doing things that you need to do. So it kind of gives you a flexible, somewhat freedom, allowing you to do something, to do the plan B job while you're, building that portfolio. When you build up that portfolio, and then you can go to the plan B, where I said you get in and you hold, because right now you are in a position to be a swing trader where you actually want to hold all the way to the top. When you get to the top, you turn around and you sell it off, and you start just are you when you're sure that we're coming down, you repeat the same process coming down. You get in at short, and you short it all the way down, until you feel where you're at the bottom. You get out, you hold it until you're sure you reverse back, reverse and start traveling up, and then you go and do it again. Now, that way, you actually created yourself a freedom because you're only checking 2, 3 times a day onto the chart what actually happening as your swing trade compared to, you're checking your chart every hour, every half hour. So that's the beauty of actually moving forward and able to actually make money, double your money on a good month, every month, and um, breaking even on the months that just not in your favor and they're going sideways. And I will put together also the system. This is actually just raw system. I might actually have some readjustment adjustments to this, but so for now, I seems to be based with the help from above and knowledge and wisdom. I think what I described can actually do some good for some people. So I will be putting together a system when we are going something like here like sideways, so we can actually trade the sideways, which is some people call it scalping. I call it sniping. Why sniping? Because sniper. It's I take the word from the word sniper because sniper plans out, adjusts, and then when the time is right, pulls the trigger. And when you trade a range, that's exactly what you do. You adjust, you plan out, you create that range that we are in. You put in a limit buy order in. Soon as it triggers, you put in a limit sell order in. You sell it, and you pretty much go both direction, all constantly nonstop. And you kind of sniper out the area until there's nothing else. You also put in emergency stop loss, just right above your order, just in case um, it just went too far. Um, Sniping is takes a lot of consume of your time until you develop the habit, and that time you can just I need to put that in 5, 10 seconds job in, and you're done. With the system, you can also do, put in immediately your target sell and the target stop loss. It can be done. I have not played with it long enough to actually verify that how it works exactly and what's the accuracy and etc. because of certain issues in a in a crypto market with the stop limit orders. So because of that, that's just how it is. So guys, what I just laid out to you guys, I personally believe can make you guys a lot of money. You guys can be blessed, but you guys need to want to use it. If you guys not going to want to use it, then it's just not going to do any good for you. Of course, there will be some modifications and future follow-ups, especially when we start having reversals and etc. to perfect the system, and eventually this video, the whole system will be re-recorded. But this is the beginning, step one. Now, no matter whose system you're testing, every system that you ever get your hands on, and you're like, I like to test it out, I like to try it out. Even if you're getting yourself into trades that actually people tell you when to get in and when to get out trades, no matter what it is, you always test it first. The criteria of testing, you take 1% of your portfolio money and you test it 1%. When you're testing a system, you're not looking to make two, three, four, $500,000. What you're looking to make a couple pennies. The biggest thing of it all, you need to have a platform that has very cheap fees, so you don't have to worry about the fees. One, I don't understand when people are trading on platforms where they have to pay 20, 30, 40, $50 per entry. I just don't understand it, guys. Forgive me. Is you guys are just making someone else rich. Just imagine there is thousand of you on his platform doing the same thing. So even if you're paying $10 a trade and you're doing, and there's thousand of you doing that one trade a day, that means you're giving him $10,000. Now if you're paying $30, that's $30,000 a day of income. So what I'm saying, guys, you guys need to behave smarter and use some wisdom. If not yours, then use some wisdom of someone else. If you cannot find the wisdom of someone else, use my wisdom. I shared enough of stuff on my videos, bits and pieces there, here, and there. Use platforms that does not cost you a fortune. One of the platforms is Binance.com. If you live in a country you cannot do it, find videos on my channel at the beginning. We'll go back to the first couple of videos. You'll find video 1, 2, 3, 4. Use those videos to get on Binance.com. Now, I use futures because that is the cheapest fees on Binance.com on that platform. Also allows me to have extra cushion when I want to buy more than what my portfolio allows. Very rarely I actually do that, but sometime I will do that when I need to tap into that extra money. They don't charge. There's no fee for that extra for using their money, but you do not want to do that unless you're 100% sure that you're making the right trade and you're actually watching the trade really closely. So even though I do use 20x, but I never utilize the leverage of the 20x. I always only utilize, even the 20x, I only utilize the dollar amount that my balance is. If I go over that and I start tapping into more than 1x out of the 20x, very rarely I'll go utilize the 2x out of the 20. Very, very rarely. You'll find me that's maybe once a month, once in 2 months, maybe maximum two times a month. You'll find me that I actually going in out of that 20x and I utilize 2x out of that. All the time, I'm always trading on at 1x or below that 1x. Now, when you test anybody's technology, you're going to use only 1%. You're interested in that 10, 15, 20, 30 cents, and that $1, that $5, $7, $15 earnings. You're trying to look for that perfect platform. You're trying to look to see what it is now because you're using 1x. So let's say you made $10. So you only use, I'm sorry, not 1. You only use 1% of your portfolio right now. You add two zeros behind it, and now you can say, okay, I did 10 trades. On average, on each trade, I made about $1. So that means I made $10 on 10 trades. Or let's say you made $8 on 10 trades because two trades you broke even. Or let's say you made you were positive $1 in each trade for 8 trades, and then 2 trades you lost $1. That means you averaged about $6 right now uh, um, on 6 trades because the other two traders canceled, two positive trades canceled, two negative trades. So that means $6 times 6, that's 36. So you add two more zeros because you only used 1% of your portfolio. That means if you would have used your portfolio, your full amount, you would have made 30 $3,600. Now, what if the system is bad and you actually lost $36? Now 36 bucks lost uh, by adding two zeros. That's a $3,600 loss. So do you really want to use all your money and lose $3,600? Let's say an example on a $10,000 account. That's about a third of your account. No, you don't. So whenever you're testing any system out there, please, and I say please, 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 100 times, please, use 1% before you start using that system. Now, when you start using that system, check what is your comfort zone with that system. How much pressure is going to put on your psychological side of it, and then adjust the amount that you're going to be trading based on that. You never want to feel like you're under huge pressure. You want to feel comfortable at all times. So that means, let's say you have a $10,000 portfolio, but you're only comfortable trading $3,000 on the system, and you feel comfortable because when you switch to 5,000, you start feeling anxiety. You should be only trading a third of your portfolio. A lot of times, guys, when I'm trading other people's systems, you guys will find me. Even I have a $5,000 account, I am not able to comfortably, without any pressure or anxiety, to trade more than $2,000 out of my account. So I will trade up to $2,000. And when I start feeling extra comfort, I might add another $1,000 to my order. But when that anxiety starts coming in, I immediately will sell out that extra 1,000 and go back to the 2,000 where I feel comfortable. So I'll always test myself: am I ready to add that extra 1,000? And if I'm ready, then I'll move on to 3,000. If I'm not ready, I'll reduce it down to the comfort of my zone. But that doesn't mean that I always only trading $2,000. Usually I trade 80 to 100% of my portfolio. But when I do that, that means I already perfected something that new that I brought into my into a system. I combine my system with the new system, and only then I'll start trading my 80 to 100% of my portfolio. But before I test it, I never do that. So that is a big tip. Do not trace the trades. Always enter into the trades at the most beneficial position. If you watch one of my previous training videos on trading topic, I always explain. If you can identify the most lowest bottom, you are the most lucky when you get into that low bottom and you travel it up because you increased couple percent additional to the system that I just shared. But if you cannot identify the lowest bottom, try to enter at 50 EMA or somewhere below the 50 EMA or even a 50 EMA cloud. This will give you that extra edge when it starts bouncing and going sideways and not really turn out to be going how you thought going up. At least you got yourself an extra cushion before you start seeing that you're going in red. Now, when you put in that stop loss just right outside of that cloud, your loss, you just reduce yourself a loss by 2 to 3 times compared to entering at 50 EMA and then putting that stop loss below the cloud. So those are the things keep in mind. Calculate, ask questions. We do have a Discord channel. You can always find me on the Discord and contact me. Give me a minute. Here's actually the information. If you go to description, you'll be able to find the Discord link. If you're not registered with Discord, it will ask you to register. If you are, we'll also ask you to log in if you're not logged in. And then from there, We have a general chat. When I start driving, I'm not sure I'll be available through the voice general option down there. But if I am at home and find the computer, and I usually will always have that on. I actually will have it on either way. The only question is if I'm not home by the computer, you will try to get hold of me through the voice. You will not be able to because I won't respond. I try to keep always the voice channel open just in case I'm sleeping and somebody needs to wake me up and get hold of me. So that's the purpose of that voice channel. Otherwise, drop a message in a general chat or drop a personal message. I will respond whenever I can. Um, and enjoy. Um, I'll be honest, I'm not sure if you can find a system that is much better than what I shared right here. Of course, this system right now has only been tested m- mostly on a uptrend, and as we went through and looked through some couple of coins, you have seen how effective that is on an uptrend. Now, as we enter into the side trend and downtrend, I will be testing, doing adjustments, and letting you guys know what are the adjustments for the system is. Blessings to every single one of you, and I hope you understood me quite well, figured it out, and able to take benefit and enjoy the earnings you are able to actually have. Also, watch that Traders Reality. Subscribe to this channel. Watch it on daily basis. Usually, he has 2 videos a day, maybe another 1 or 2 videos on a weekend. So if you guys continue watching this to a point until you believe you got everything that you can out of the guy, um, plus the adjustments that I included, um, I think you guys can do good. Uh, and of course, if there's something you guys misunderstand, I can always fill in the blank. Just have a conversation. Take care.